President Vladimir Putin has been coming under unusual pressure. A $1 billion palace allegedly paid for illegally has been making global headlines, while young Russians flood TikTok with calls for protests. Thousands hit the streets in some of the most widespread demonstrations in years, and the president himself faces the public to deny accusations of stolen wealth. Much of the agitation was sparked by Kremlin critic Alexei Navalny, now watching from prison. So, does Navalny pose a growing threat to President Putin's rule? Alexei Navalny has long been in the public eye, but his latest moves have brought him unprecedented attention. He recently flew back to Russia, despite being poisoned there just months earlier. Upon his arrival, he was immediately arrested, with authorities citing his failure to meet the conditions of his parole. But soon Navalny's team released a viral YouTube video starring the opposition leader, revealing what he calls Putin's use of vast stolen riches. It's already been viewed over 100 million times and has fueled the anger of many Russians frustrated by the living standards and a sense of injustice.
It's all about the state of mind of Russian voters. They are so much displeased with the regime. It's about the contents of what he's telling and about the context which he's creating. He didn't show this movie from Germany, from safety, right? He showed it from Russian prison. He put his head into the jaw of a tiger. So he's really risking his life now, and the public feels it.
Protests following Navalny's arrest did not hit a record in numbers, but they spread out wider than ever before in Putin's 20-year rule.
We have never had so many cities and towns participating, united under the same type of slogans, under the same, I would say, political agenda. Individual protests happened even in the smaller towns and villages. According to the census that has been taken during the demonstration in the center of Moscow, 42% of respondents said that it was their first time they took part in any public protest activity. So the protest has evidently went beyond the traditional audience and the traditional participants of protest demonstrations. But whether these are socially different people, we cannot say.
President Putin has long downplayed Navalny's importance. He is known even for refusing to speak the opposition politician's name. But on January 25th, Putin appeared publicly to deny accusations brought forth in Navalny's video investigation.
Ничего из того, что там указано в качестве моей собственности, ни мне, ни моим близким родственникам не принадлежит и никогда не принадлежало. Никогда.
And it doesn't stop there. Usually absent on state TV, the opposition leader was suddenly given airtime in major national TV programs. And though being discredited, the scale of Kremlin acknowledgement of Navalny in itself is unusual.
Kremlin thought it wouldn't be wise to make promotion to him, to criticize him and advertise him at the same time, right? Previously, Kremlin took care not to provoke this interest. Now, they probably saw that his recognition and interest in what he's telling grew up enough among the TV audience. It's useless to pretend that he doesn't exist.
Some analysts say Navalny may have finally managed to unite Russia's opposition, which is notorious for infighting.
Previously, he was not an unconditional leader of the Russian opposition. He was criticized by many, actually. For half a year, Russian authorities were dominating Russian politics after they won this constitutional majority voting. And their ratings went up. The opposition was depressed. They felt that they couldn't offer any resistance to Kremlin. He took the initiative into his hands. He returned the initiative to Russian opposition. It's very important for a protest, not just to feel morally right, but also to feel strong, to feel the weakness of authorities. And Navalny gave this feeling of the weakness of the authorities.
And amid Navalny's increasing visibility comes another crucial moment: Russia's parliamentary elections in September. Navalny is essentially blocked from participating himself. Instead, he is urging the public to engage in so-called smart voting. It means casting the vote for whichever candidate may have the best chance of unseating Putin's United Russia Party candidate. Though seen as controversial by some, the strategy has been successful in the past, including in the 2019 Moscow City Duma elections. Analysts say smart voting may pose a similar threat this time around.
There is real chance that in the majority of Russian cities and towns, Navalny will manage to ruin Kremlin plans to elect the candidates of Единая Russia. So Kremlin just cannot allow Navalny to take part in this game. It's too risky for him.
Putin is facing a set of other challenges. The Russian economy is struggling due to low oil prices, and the pandemic added to the hardship. Despite Putin's approval ratings falling, at over 60%, they still appear high. Navalny may therefore not seem to be an imminent threat, but he's found ways to put pressure on the Kremlin despite it.
He is the author of what happened in Russia last Saturday. And this is a very significant degree of direct political influence, especially for a person who is barred from public political life and even denied his freedom.